Today I like to share what I think is happening, what I think is part of reality. Uh, to me, it looks like that Earth, as is, also a Stargate. By meaning, what Stargates like? Let's look at that. Stargates are technically creating environments in every ways, starting with energetic qualities, which they would like to tune into, then dimensionally shift something or shift through itself. Talking about realities, really. I'm talking about right now about how one uh, how one type of dimension, quality, like dimensional quality, whatever floats your boat. I like to use dimensional quality or qualities will lead to which realities. When we're talking about dimensions, uh, then when you're talking about energetic qualities, everything is energy. Now, stargates are especially a certain, like a type of stargate like Earth and the Starship. Every starship is also a stargate because accordingly the living beings already existing on it for a reason that comes into tuning into certain dimensional areas, zones, sectors of the universe, then get that life force energy here to be manifested physiologically. Now that's for stargates too. So you look at the Stargate, any Stargate, they have different environment. Imagine a round shaped something. Perhaps if you can, I don't know how much you can see in the video, that the phone is actually placed on a ring, a fire ring, which has stones around it. And then it has these chairs. It's pretty cool. So it's a little bit similar. I'm not gonna say it's the same. It's a little bit similar. We could do something like that too. But of course, the purpose of this fire pit is, or fire, what do you call this, ring, is to keep the fire safe, so we can get nice heat energy, hot heat energy. With electromagnetism, so on, everybody knows what in heat energy or in energy, depending on if you can harvest it, right? If you can utilize it, if you can actually be it, or be with it, or let it to you. So, what's important, I think, is regarding to our Stargate Earth, is if you look at Earth, every area is either slightly different or slightly is almost exactly the same. Some areas are way different than other areas. The reason of this is because in the geothermal power household, imagine that geothermal power household, it's called the Super 8, or the fire ring, the ring of fire, rings of fire, rings of fire. Let's say there is one ring, like talking about a Stargate, let's say it's a round shaped portal. A portal which is also hosting certain qualities of light manifested physiologically, then also when you combine the two, something got spirit, it's physical, then psychology will develop from it, or will follow up with the psychological qualities, will follow up with the energetic as well as the physical qualities, as they pretty much evolve at the same time. It's same trinity. Now, you may write energetic psychological as well as you may write energetic physical as well as psychological qualities. I kind of there's a reason why I got that first, second, and then the third. That's what I call same trinity. Now they could align on Earth according to the four main elements to create the fifth one. This is a human starship. This is a human portal. This is a human Stargate. Especially what's underneath it, the Orion Starship, it's another story. This we are right now on the top of it. It is still a Stargate. It is a Stargate. Imagine, eh? It's pretty good finding in the frozen part of the universe something and then just dig into it, and all of a sudden it's a big ice field, and all of a sudden there is water, all of a sudden there is earth, there is air, everything. Of course you're gonna nestle here and float this, be a part of this part of the Milky Way galaxy, with this solar system we got here. Out the universe it's super cold, it's minus 200 something I think. So you can imagine the ice shield we are in. And then we habited it, and then we put a Stargate on it, a lunar star. No, anyhow, so what's important is what is the components, the designs, the elements, the biochemical exchanges of all the qualities you can imagine. It's very important, however, that Stargate is designed or being taken care of on the surface of it. It's really, really, really important. There are tons of tunnels going all the way down to the middle of all the way down to the middle of this thing around the starship. You will. So this is a starship, but a starship on a starship, and there are many starships, many portals in it as well. Almost every different area in a certain portal has the ability to actually get you to an area like that somewhere else in the universe to get the abilities. All of these different, certain different areas. So it's incredible. There are tunnels going all the way down to the core, down to the in between that. There are oceans, like almost entirely just water under this water table we are having on the surface, all around the globe to keep it cool. It's amazing. Somewhat, in a way, I know it's not so easy to imagine it because Earth naturally is 3D plus dimensional. So you cannot really think about it two-dimensionally or with two-dimensional plus perceptional and thinking and creative or mental abilities. You cannot really think about Earth. If you think about Earth as is, it will look like a zoo, which of course I'm gonna mention something about it part two, but right now we're focusing on human creation, on actual three-dimensionally plus thinking, creative, doing mental, psychological, spiritual abilities. So we won't go any below than that right now. It's very important. So that's when Saint Trinity gets actually actualized, with the lining by the four main elements creating the fifth one. Now they actualize the Saint Trinity. That's the human environment. That's the human heaven. That's Earth is as a human starship meant to be, and it is. It's There are conditions. So once again, manifestations of realities. When it comes to the surface of the Stargate or Starship, everything. I just gonna repeat this because it's super important. I love holding. I just get a nice baseball ball. I just like it. And I got another one. It looks like it has designs almost like my dream vehicle. It has. I show it to that later. So what I'm trying to say is, we're gonna start with the pyramids first. The pyramids are probably one of the most recent artificially created. Uh, they fulfill a lot of purpose. First, they show exactly what they were facing, what they already knew about, from showing us from how to do surgeries, how to heal, how to build, how to educate, to how to organize environments, how to bring life back to area where you find not much else but sand. Amazing stuff, but also when you look at the remainings of the recent recently created, like in the past few thousand years, like the younger ones before 12.6 thousand years ago. So I'm not talking about the older ones. Of course, you're going to talk about those as well, but because they are kind of layers of civilizations are kind of on the top of each other in a way, and they mixing, and then they have combined effects. As the life force energy radiates through the earth from the core, sort of like from, of course, everywhere else too, because it's recycling. It recycles. Imagine an apple. What I'm trying to say is, like a roundish fruit, you're gonna have a tunnel in the middle. That's what we call the pole. I know. It's pretty awesome. So what I'm trying to say is, there is everything on Earth, because Earth went through pretty much everything, even as is, like in an ice shield, living in a hole, sort of, and also independently as well. Luckily, we can also, we have the ability to shift dimensionally anywhere as is. That's not an issue. So we're talking about a real starship, the Orion starship. So what it will take to actually create. So you could say create, and we could say recreate, we could say co-create. I like to use the co-recreate or recreate. Not easy words, but what I'm trying to say is, that's what it will take to actually make Earth a human heaven again for all the creations, what are already on it in it. Every one of them wants to be well. And again, because Earth went through pretty much all the way through the universe, then now we are heading back to the A zone. We are at the AB zone. And like it's between the A ring and the B ring. Explanations are behind that nice picture on my Facebook profile. Not my picture, the other one. It shows pretty much what, in a way, where we are in this universe. So what I'm trying to say is, with the Milky Way galaxy, of course, it's important to remember. So that what you see in the sky, when it comes to I'm just building a pathway. It kind of reminded me that in the middle of the Milky Way galaxy, it looks sort of like looking out of a gap, so a window, a gap. So it looks sort of like a pathway. They are. It's pretty amazing stuff. Now, what we could do to make the Earth more human natured, so that we could not only eliminate suffering or any wrongs or any bad things. It's not only what we could do very easily by human right creative thinking, as well as creative like abilities, like doing abilities. That's that's just one thing, but we can actually reverse all the bad mechanisms to be good, only good, and we could also exchange all the bad or wrong things to be good instead of bad. What good means? What is actually not aligning with human rights law, the 30 international human rights, which are interdependent as well as interconnected. They are describing human nature precisely. You have your right to health, to economic well-being, like financial resources and assets, places. You all have the rights freely for all of that. Of course, it is also an obligation to be. When we are being it, we are doing it. We are being it. When we are being it, we are doing it. When we are doing it, we are being it. I know. I mentioned to you it's being super easy. So that's what I'm trying to say. We already pretty much around the world, every culture got their head around exactly what human rights are all about, what human health is all about. Everybody would like to be healthy. Animals also would like to be healthy. They have the right to be healthy, healthy as well as happy, just like any other living beings. As long as it isn't interfering with human nature, because the two natures are, one is alkaline, alkalizing, other one is acidic, acidifying, somewhat, more or less. So animal race is here, humankind nature is here. Animal race nature is here, humankind nature is here. Good thing we got the ball with it. So what I'm trying to say is it's very very important to, after all of this knowledge, because we do together as humans, I think we find out about everything what's on Earth, or about Earth, or about things on Earth. Like there are, database, and today we got the Google search, so it's not a big deal. Imagine back in the days, libraries was filled up with people just to get some information, and they were hoping that is actually true, what they were reading or listening to. Back in the days, even reading wasn't a big fashion. Or they just wanted to stick with the way they communicated, because everything is communicating around us, with us, for us, through us, by us. You name it. I mean, not saying by us like go pay for us and then buy it. I'm not saying that. By us means with us, sort of. Okay, we need to be funny. It's important. We need to do what we're looking for. I'm looking for smiles. I'm looking for health, well-being for everyone. Really, you could also say for everything these days because there are instruments that they understand the human emotions. They can actually sense and react with human emotions. According to the quality of nature, what is getting projected to them. So, okay, this will be the first part of the Starship or the Stargate. We're gonna say probably both. We're gonna stay. I'm saying we because that I'm doing this. I don't think I'm doing it by myself. I think there's so much more rather than through me, rather than for me to be able to say that anything what is coming through me is I am doing it myself only. That would be selfish. I don't think that would be true. Since we all know energy is getting generated, it goes through the earth. As it comes through the earth, as it comes through the surface of the earth too, including all the shaped things and what's in them and however they are in them, like projecting and especially if they have peaks. Talking about from pyramids to mountains, anything really could be antennas too. Could be anything what could project frequencies and vibrations and interfere with that pure natural life force energy that meant to be get spread around the earth without being polluted. And that's the nicest thing what I can say when it comes to the situation what's going on today. The ether, the electromagnetic field on Earth is getting abused so much, violated, uh, for wrong. Of course, there are pollutions causing it, and of course, energetic pollutions will manifest, physical pollutions as well as psychological pollutions, and they will manifest on Earth, on this target. Beings, actual beings. You look at the pyramids, you look at the snakes, boom, snakes appear. You look at the cat or dog-headed people. There are psychologies around us, and also by the look, they look similar to perhaps cats or dogs more than any others. But we find that in many other cultures, they were just examples. Different bodied, like half human and half different bodied, half animal nature, half human nature beings. And many times they were also, of course, also existing, but as they are over there, but they are also referring, programming the ether, the electromagnetic field, the very same electromagnetic field what keeps us alive, what goes through us. Without us, without this electromagnetism, the ether, without this earth energy power, we would really need something like it to host this system to keep it alive. At least this could. I mean, it's getting a little bit chilly now. It's almost the end of summer. So this is all what I'm trying to say. Everything could be, we could say, corrected. There is a core in it too. It all begins from the core, meant to be pure life force energy. And then, of course, whatever it goes through, afterwards, it partially also will be in it. Apparently, will come out, gets over here, gets spread around, and through the sunlight, especially through the sunlight rays, this reflection up there that goes around the planet. That type of radiation view is writing the future. It is like a program, in a way, by quality of nature. Quran, look at the calendar. There's a reason why they look at the clock. There's a reason why it's round. I'm getting chilly now, so this is the first part. I wish everyone very good creative thinking, doing abilities, which are human rights, aligning with the very international human rights law. That's the basic of all the laws, which are actually legal. That's the only foundation of it. If that, everything on the top of it is aligning with the third international human rights law, which is also the universal human rights law. So, because we are going to the universe going through us this way, we need that protection everywhere, not only in countries, but really everywhere. We can do it together. Human nature can do it. That's human nature is all about. God bless everyone. Almost there.